everyone, this is Nintendojo Editor-in-Chief Robert Marujo, back with another review, this time of the Super Mario Galaxy movie, which had some pretty big expectations placed upon it from the second a sequel to the Super Mario Bros. Movie was announced. That first film was an enormous hit, drawing in $1.36 billion from the global box office, and untold sums from merchandise and toys as well. The Super Mario Galaxy movie needed to land with just as much momentum and impact as its predecessor, and thus far Nintendo and NBC Universal have been rewarded with one of the most financially successful films of 2026. Yet for all the gloating that the mustachioed one can do about its $375.2 million opening weekend, is the movie any good? The answer is mostly yes, but there are caveats. If you're not a Nintendo fan of any kind, then the odds are high that you'll walk away disappointed with Mario Galaxy. The film is light on plot, and moves at a pace that makes the early motorcycle scene look like it's creeping along at 50cc in a round of Mario Kart. The movie rarely takes a moment to breathe, instead intent on delivering a steady barrage of cameo appearances, blink and you'll miss them Easter eggs, and glorious action sequences that will make your eyes water. But if you're here for depth, the moat in front of Peach's castle is deeper. As much as I love Super Mario, at nearly 40 as I record this, as an adult fan and collector, I think it's important to take a step back sometimes and remember that the brand is for kids and always will be. Nintendo can slap an E rating on the games, and I agree that they are indeed intended for everyone, but ultimately Mario isn't for 30-year-old dog moms. It's a franchise for children. At the same time, however, Pixar in its heyday showed viewers the world over that kids' entertainment doesn't have to be mindless entertainment. And at its best, that's exactly how Mario games have always played, as games for kids that provide excitement, challenge, and depth for people of all ages. Thus, it's a shame that the same can't quite be said about the movie. Mario Galaxy's plot revolves around the rescue of Rosalina from Bowser Jr., and little else for its lean 98-minute runtime. To be clear, I'm not asking for deeper meanings and grand messages from a Mario movie, just perhaps a little more story to bite into, or at least stakes that have more weight. Classic kids movies like the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Up balance the fun antics and action that children love with moments of genuine emotion and grown-up decisions to make. To be fair, we do see that a bit in Mario Galaxy. Mario is ready to sacrifice himself at the end to fight Bowser and Bowser Jr. on his own so that Peach can go save Rosalina, for instance. These examples are few and far between, however, and much of the nuance of some of the interactions in the film are left to the viewer's imagination rather than explored on screen. For example, the aforementioned scene of Mario sending Peach to rescue Rosalina would have hit harder if the film had spent a moment to show Peach confiding in Mario about recovering the memories of her forgotten sister. It would have added depth to Mario's sacrifice, and also served as a nice character-building moment for Peach. Alas, it wasn't meant to be. One thing that I did appreciate here is that Mario and Luigi are allowed to be heroes without having to defer to Peach or being emasculated. The common trope in modern storytelling is to diminish male characters, usually in an effort to bolster female ones. Rather than allow female characters to shine on their own, there is a concentrated effort to show them as not equal to male counterparts, but better than them. That is never the case in Mario Galaxy. The bros get plenty of moments to shine, save the day, and be the heroes that everyone loves. Rosalina similarly is portrayed as a powerful and motherly, nurturing character. Yes, she does get taken captive by Bowser Jr., but just like Luigi in the first film, her imprisonment is a matter of circumstance and not a mark against her ability or character. One of the more bizarre complaints I've seen out there is that Bowser is too evil. Bowser's a villain. In fact, he's so devoted to being a villain that he's got an entire army of minions, airships, castles, and the whole works. Yet, according to some, it's unacceptable to show him cast aside his brief reconciliation with Mario and Luigi, only to embrace his dark nature once more. To which I say, yeah, no, Bowser's a bad guy. A likable one, to be sure, as is Bowser Jr., but this modern notion that every villain has to be sympathetic, misunderstood, and so on is nonsense that ignores reality. The reality that there are bad people in the world, and they don't always deserve sympathy. Bowser might have taught Bowser Jr. some bad things as a father, but the film makes that apparent, especially when by the end they both wind up paying the price for their crimes. It's a lesson kids need to learn, and I'm glad it's in Mario Galaxy. Sadly, as in the first movie, Peach isn't afforded a rounded portrayal in Mario Galaxy. She is once again depicted as a frowning, aggressive, angry woman for the bulk of her screen time. No Reddit scholar nor Wikipedia historian can argue with 40 years of Princess Peach being depicted as a warm, demure, classically dainty character. I firmly believe that Peach's portrayal as a testosterone-filled hothead is a concession forced upon Nintendo by Illumination during production. It is a markedly Western trope, and sticks out like a mound of dog feces on a bright green, freshly trimmed lawn. Yes, there are times when Peach shows some of her true self. She shows genuine affection towards Mario throughout the movie, even showing disappointment when the plumber fumbles an opportunity to hug her. By the end of the movie, Illumination, I'm sure begrudgingly, lets Peach give Mario a kiss on the cheek as he soars into the sky to send the movie off with a bang. Unfortunately, none of that is quite enough to make up for the eye-rolling moments like Peach battering hundreds of ninjas without taking nary a scratch, or stomping on Wart's chest and barking at him like Frank Castle battering drug dealers. As Peach and Toad soar through the sky via Warp Star for the first time, Toad looks on in wonder, while Peach stares ahead with a dopey smirk on her face. It's the perfect encapsulation of everything wrong with her portrayal in comparison to the rest of the cast. Putting aside Peach's bastardization, the rest of the movie shines brightly. The animation is as sublime as the first film, fluid and bold as it skims from baking deserts to verdant plains and the depths of space. I especially appreciated the moments in the movie where actions from the games is portrayed in little vignettes. From Luigi in the frog suit, to the brothers taking down a pair of Hammer Bros, to hurtling through deadly obstacle courses, these moments in Mario Galaxy were there just to call back to the numerous video games that Mario has appeared in over the years, and I wouldn't have it any other way. It was a blast seeing the animators' interpretation of these classic bits of gameplay in fluid motion. Yeah, movies are aiming at a general audience, but gamers are the core of this franchise, and this sort of thing is for the fans. Moving on to the cameos. There are a lot to discover. Rob, the Toasterinas, and more familiar faces pop up all over the place, and a big part of the fun comes from spotting them. It's a shame that Fox McCloud's role was given away prior to release, as the build-up to him appearing in the movie would have been the perfect surprise for fans. Glenn Powell's portrayal of the leader of Team Star Fox is right on the money, filled with bravado and heart in perfect proportions. The sight of an R-Wing flying around on screen was one of the funnest things I've seen in a movie in years, and has me pumped thinking about the possibility for a Star Fox movie. I won't spoil one cameo that wasn't made public, but it also got a grin spreading across my face, and hopeful that we eventually get some big Nintendo team-up movie, regardless of Shigeru Miyamoto's claims we won't. The Super Mario Galaxy movie might not be getting any awards for writing, but as an action film, as a kids movie, it's an utter success. While I wouldn't say no to a little more depth from these films, I'm also wary of what sort of messaging Western writers would try to infuse future Mario movies with, if allowed to focus too much on storytelling. This is especially so given how horribly Peach has been handled up to this point. For now, I'm content with massive fan service in the form of cameos, a light but enjoyable story, and electric action sequences. Nintendo fans and families should be flocking to the theater for Mario Galaxy. Nintendojo absolutely recommends heading out to see the Super Mario Galaxy movie. If you enjoyed this review, please find us on our website and our social media channels. Thank you for tuning in, and have a good one.